What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I got to have that Tej pack. Tej makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun. And a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tej Henley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tej Henley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tej Henley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a Dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tej Henley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a Dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tej pack. Feel the Tej, my friends.
Why y'all want an updated intro? The message is the message. You know what I'm saying? What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. It is Thursday, September 28th, 2023, year of our Lord. And Anton is a little bit stopped up, but nothing that we can't give a couple of pharmaceutical pills to, a little bit of hot tea, some rest, some water, and then we cooking. You know why? Because we don't miss. I'm assuming everybody hit a like on the way in the door. I'm assuming that everybody hit a like on the way on in the door. What's going on? I am excited to be kicking it with you guys today. What up? What up? What up? Can I get a mental health check in the chat? One word only. One word only. Let me get a mental health check in the chat because we was cooking up last night on the Anton Daniels channel. Let me get a mental health check in the chat. One word only. One word only. Let me hear what y'all got to say. Great opener yesterday. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? What's happening? Speak to your fellow friends and bag chasers on your way in the door. Hit a like for the algorithm. I see unstoppable, great, excited, encouraged. New season of Stone on them. Good. Birthday. Happy birthday, Toby Chronicles. Top of the morning. Drained, blessed, and power. You shouldn't be drained. I ain't drained. Good, grateful, exhausted, blessed. Hosting a fundraiser. Driven, stressed, hungry, unbreakable, motivated, excellent, driven, thankful, chilling, bewildered, relaxed, depressed, ready, great, blessed, amazing, inspired, encouraged, refreshed, motivated, ambitious, determined, good, yes, busy, stressed, blessed, divorced, Jesus, grateful, incredible, ready to learn, motivated, hidden, blessed, good morning, content, productive, refreshed, blessed, about to become a bag chaser. Shout out to Herb G. Your birthday too, White Glenn. Happy birthday. Let me get a birthday clap for all of the people that got birthdays today. Strong, blessed. The 304s. What up, Julian? What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? With your people behind you, you're unstoppable, drunk, ecstatic, undeveloped. Winning big. Teach time. Constipated but confident. I always know when it's time to get it in. Shout out to Cassandra. She said she focused, and Black Silver said they bag chasing. What up, y'all? Y'all ready to get it popping today? We're going to have to bring some people to the front of the congregation today. Listen, this is the week that the congregation has spoken. The people have spoken, and they said, listen, we're going to have to bring some people to the front of the congregation today. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. But before we get started, let me go ahead and acknowledge some of the people that super chatted, cash apped early. Shout out to my dog, Mike that dude. Mike that dude always holding me down. I appreciate it. Also, let me acknowledge a couple early super chats because I like to read them throughout the show. I don't ask for them, but I absolutely positively appreciate it because you guys are my inspiration as to why it is that we do what we do on a daily basis. Carlos Torres says, getting that UPS money in Chicago is what you make it, but keep it invested over and over. And thanks for the knowledge and the motivation. Thank you, my friend. Thank you for coming in and kicking it with your boy. I appreciate you. David Williams says, just curious how you met Q and Logic. We used to do this show on Thursday nights. Actually, me and Q, we had pivoted. So I met Q on a night where everybody had left us on the show and everybody had abandoned us. And we said, skip it. We about to cook up mid week. And we just started cooking up. And we just started doing a show. And so me and Q hit it off. And we just went from there. She just became a part of my tribe. And she loved me. And I loved her back. And she been loyal to me since the beginning. And we travel together. We go to cities together. That's my little sister. I got to always make sure that she good. And I rock with Q. That's my baby girl. And then Logic, same way, linked up with him in person. And we just rocked out from there. So shout out to you. Great question. Thank you, my friend. I think we got a really interesting show today. Timothy said the Arizona governor stepped down. Send me that in my email, AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. First and foremost, make sure you get that Tej Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. We love you, Tej. Thank you for being the sponsor of the show. Tej Hanley, it is the best product for your skin. I absolutely love Tej. I use it myself. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I was doing this morning because I was feeling a little bit under the weather, I made sure that I brushed my teeth. I hit it with the gargle, the scope, and then I jumped in the shower. And before I jumped in the shower, I got that Tej pack. 30% off your first order plus a free gift. It made me feel really, really good. And my skin is always on top of everything. So make sure you get that Tej Hanley. The link is in the description. Also, on top of that, make sure, listen, there's no better Patreon on the face of the earth. There's no better tribe of people on the face of the earth. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. The link is in the description. I don't even know why I'm still telling you. You're wasting your time if you're not aligned with the people that's going in the direction that you're going in. If I don't feel as much under the weather, I'm going to do an impromptu live stream probably this Sunday. Carrie says she on time today. Carrie said, what up, though? I'm on time today. What up, Carrie? What up, baby girl? Okay, Carrie. I knew it was going to be an incredible week. Yes, I am acknowledging your promptness, Carrie. Good job. I don't even have to call you today. Yep, everything is going well. Construction is going swimmingly. Inspectors are out. We broke ground yesterday. They are working feverishly. Everything is awesome. So I don't have anything to complain about. Let's go ahead and get into the show. Let me read a couple more super chats, and then we're going to get into the show. All right. Craig G says, good morning, bag chasers. We up. Stay positive. Thank you, Craig G. I appreciate you, my friend. Spees the Beast said, great show last night, big dog. That was spot on about love and the state of the modern day women. Yo, we going to have to talk about that today. I'm going to bring Eboni K. Williams up because apparently she got a message for women, and we going to go from there. But before we get over to Eboni K. Williams, ladies, it's your turn today. We're going to move over to Chicago. We're going to tap into Philly. We're going to see what Eboni K. Williams got to say. But ladies, it is your turn today. Gentlemen, be very, very aware of what is going on, and never, never, ever fall for a pretty face and a small waist. What up, Jalen? Never fall for a pretty face and a small waist. It is going to be the end of your existence. It is going to be your demise. All last night, I'm telling you, listen, I pray, and then I get it in. I make sure I do what it is that I do. I ask God to give me what it is that I need in order to add value into people's lives. But before I do, I go and I petition God and I say, hey, what is it that you want me to do? I don't ask anybody for anything, including God. I just ask, what is it that you want me to do? Never fall for a pretty face and a small waist. And what I realized last night, even more than I anticipated, shout out to Delta Fox, I'm going to be reading those super chats shortly. What I realized is that more women, it's not the men. It's not the men. See, men are pretty transparent. When a guy is messing up, a woman instantly knows it, right? But men tend to ignore the signs. Women call it intuition. Men ignore the signs, but it's our divine insight that gives us those tingling feelings, those spidey senses that tells us something ain't right with this woman or this situation. Most of the time, you even absolve yourself from the opportunity to even get in certain situations in the first place. But it's those spidey senses that you ignore every time. Every single time that I've ever ignored my spidey senses, I've paid for it. Sometimes in blood, other times in money, sometimes in opportunity, but certainly had to pay the piper for it. And I didn't complain about it. I just took my hits, right? But what I'm finding out more often than not, when I had that show last night, y'all got to go back and check it out. I know we got a different audience over here in a lot of instances than we have over there. But when I did my live stream last night, it was very, very telling because after I started breaking down how it is that things are happening within our community and the demise of it and the reasons for it, I opened up the phone lines. And I like to open up the phone lines on a Wednesday night. And what happened was guys started calling in. And I knew something was up last night because they didn't want to be on camera. Tall tale sign. I even got to the point on my live streams where I say, listen, I expect for people not to want to be on camera. You know why? Because I know that when you're not on camera, you tend to start telling the truth. You're not up there for clout. You're not up there for visibility. You're not up there in order to try to get famous and get your name big or be clipped up or anything like that, right? Some people come on the camera and they just be telling their story and it be real. But the minute that I seen the first three guys that got on the live stream, they said, Anton, I don't want to be on camera. Me and Freezy, we looked at each other, we texted each other, and I said, what is going on, Freezy? And man after man, and man after man, and man after man. And you know what they were saying? My mama just lied to me my whole life. I'm 29 years old, and I didn't even know that my father wasn't my father. And she's still trying to live with the lie even after we did the DNA test. And then the second guy came up and he said, you know what I'm saying? My girlfriend lied to me and told me that them kids was my kids and they not even our kids. I'm going to be reading those super chats shortly. It was crazy. Guy after guy after guy. We did a sweep yesterday. Oh, man, you know what I'm saying? I moved in with a woman. I thought that she was going to be my wife, and I paid for her to go to school, and then she wound up leaving as soon as she got her nursing degree, and she leveled up, and then she went on and did her own thing, and she moved to Houston. Kirk Franklin, we just found out about that story. Kerry Washington, just found out about that story. Sometimes women ask me the question, because I hold my guys accountable all the time, and guys tend to be the ones that get the most coaching calls, right? But sometimes women ask me, they say, why are you being hard on us, Anton? Don't you believe all women? Don't you understand what's going on in our lives? Don't you know that we've just been able to vote, but we've been able to accomplish so much within the last few years, and there's so many programs and so many incentivizations in order for us to continue to do the thing that's in our best interest, like Black Girls Code, Believe All Women, advocate for equal rights, family court updated laws, and all of this stuff. My life, my choice, body positivity, don't shame me, make sure that I can do what I want to do when I want to do it, and you can't cancel me as a result of it. I could just make an accusation and ruin your life, and then when you find out 20 years from now after you started doing your sentence that it wasn't actually you that did anything, it's nothing that I can do about it, so I'm just going to keep on going about my way. I'm going to be Carly Russell, can't really get any accountability held for me except for public shaming. Don't y'all understand that, for example, and I explained this last night, but I'm definitely going to have this conversation with y'all today. Don't you understand, for example, men can't lie about you being the mother of their children. They can't. The fetus comes out of your body, and so it's your child. We can't finesse you. It's impossible. It's the reason why God made us men, because we are naturally held accountable just for the sake of being a man, just by being born in society. We have no excuses. But then women are the detriment to the community. And when I had the conversation years ago and I said, hey, man, a lot of these instances, black women are starting to become the biggest nuisance and enemy to black men, way more than any time in history from white men, because we love you. We love you. We want the best for you. That's the reason why we connected with you in the first place. And so conversely, because a man can't lie and say, no, that's not your kid, or that's your kid and it not really being your kid. When a woman comes through and she dies with a lie, and just imagine it like this, right? She dies with the lie, meaning that she told you that was your father and it wasn't really your father. She told you that was your kid and it wasn't really your kid. Now, she knew what she was doing. She knew that she was having sex with more than one man at the same time, and she decided to die with the lie. How many of your grandmothers and great-grandmothers and great-great-great-great-great-grandmothers that you think is a part of your lineage, but that's not even your real father? Think about that for a minute. How many dudes are getting set up every day? How many dudes are sleeping with the enemy? The person that you lay next to is the most important decision that you ever gonna make in your entire life. How many men are suffering at the hands of the person that they lay next to every day? I'll give you an example.
The U.S. Marshals have a new addition to their 15 most wanted fugitives list, and she's from right here in Metro Detroit.
Yeah, 44-year-old Tamara Williams is wanted for the murder of her boyfriend back in 2018. She's accused of killing him and then scattering his body parts along I-75 in Ohio. We bring in Sean Lay. Sean, 2018, so she's been on the run for years now.
4 years and now making this list. U.S. Marshals Service 15 most wanted fugitives anywhere. We're talking about escaped prisoners, child killers, child pornography, multiple killers. And today, at the very end, a new addition, Tamara Williams from Detroit, accused in that horrible dismemberment murder of her boyfriend. And Tamara's mom, very well known in these parts, may be the key to finding her.
She's evil. And we're throwing every bit of resources that we have to find her.
And today, added to the top 15 most wanted fugitives in the nation by the U.S. Marshals, 44-year-old Tamara Williams of Detroit. Williams is wanted for the 2018 murder and dismemberment of her boyfriend, David Carter. But where is Williams?
She not only set him up, she not only killed him, allegedly, but she also dismembered his body. You know how satanic you got to be to actually dismember somebody? It's bad enough that you took a life and know somebody not breathing no more. You know how demonic and satanic that you have to be, filled with evil that you have to be driving down the street in Ohio and throwing body parts out the window. This man, Michigan fan, probably a Michigan alumni, good man, was taking her to basketball games, loving on her, having her best interests at heart. And she literally, allegedly, is being accused of killing him, dismembering his body, and throwing it out the window on the freeway.
David Carter. But where is Williams? Street by street, block by block.
And look at the chameleon. How many times have you seen this on Facebook and Instagram? How many times have you seen the smile on Facebook and Instagram? How many people do you walk by every single day and they're actually demons, but you can't see them because you don't have a spiritual connection to actually be able to see through that third eye? And it get worse. Let me show you how bad it gets.
State by state, Williams has vanished. U.S. Marshal Robert Watson describing Williams to me on the phone.
She is a monster, and she is one of those people that she's a danger to the community every minute that she is out there.
And the marshals believe Williams' mother, Verdine Day, has a hand in helping her. Day, once named the Detroit Firefighter of the Year, was busted for stealing tens of thousands of dollars. In
her mother is suspected to be aiding her fugitive daughter, was once named Firefighter of the Year in Detroit, but her mother herself was busted stealing money from the city and the firefighters fund. You cannot make this up. You can't make this up. I bet you she accepted that award so happily. I bet you she accepted her award so gleefully. And you know the thing about women is that once they lie and they tell themselves a lie for long enough, they actually start believing that they're doing good. That is nothing wrong with whatever it is that they're doing. Listen, the mama is finessing the city, got Firefighter of the Year, falsely was stealing money, tens of thousands of dollars from the firefighters, and is aiding and abetting in the fugitive that her daughter is, and her daughter actually killed her boyfriend and dismembered his body and then threw all of his remains over the freeway. Good God almighty, what in the hell are y'all talking about out here in these streets? Let me rewind it so you can really catch the wave.
Once named the Detroit Firefighter of the Year, was busted for stealing tens of thousands of dollars in her role as treasurer of the Detroit Firefighters Association.
And we believe wholeheartedly that she has provided her money, she has provided her resources, and may have even gone as far as financed her way to continue her life as a fugitive.
Detroit Firefighter of the Year. She was honored with that one time.
She manipulated them, into honoring her with this, with this great accolade. And lo and behold, she's stealing from them. We will go anywhere, basically in the world that we have an extradition agreement with.
They will go anywhere to find Williams. Here's the deal. U.S. Marshals 24-hour tip line, 1-877-WANTED-2. 1-877-WANTED-2. We'll put that number and a lot of new pictures the Marshals put out today of Williams on our website. Click on Detroit.com. $25,000 reward. That is up $25,000, and Marshals are confident they will catch up with her at some point. Back to you.
I'm not confident that the Marshals is going to catch up to her or her mama. I'm not confident that the mama or her is ever going to get caught.
She's a danger to the community.
Ever. Look at her. If anybody see this woman, $25,000 that leads to the arrest of this woman that dismembered her boyfriend and then spread his remains all across 75 freeway in Ohio. I heard she got a BBL and she had got her waist sucked out too. That's the word on the street. I don't know. I can't tell. But my point is this. I no longer believe all women. I no longer subject myself to the idea that women were even a blessing for men at all. It's hard. You're going to have to sell me on it. You're going to have to sell me on the idea that women were supposed to be a blessing to men. After the show yesterday, and I prayed this morning, I asked God, because I made a declaration to my fellas that I was going to repair you guys. I'm going to be a lightning rod in the community in order to make sure that I use my voice, my platform, and everything that I have in order to continue to build you back up, because it is my responsibility. And I declare today that I am going to fix you one man at a time. But in order for me to start to do that, I got to understand the enemy. And I had to ask God this morning. I said, are they the enemy? No, they can't be. They can't be. And I'm not talking about the women that's in the bag chasers. I'm not talking about the chick that I'm married to. I'm not talking about my daughter. There's always going to be an exception to the rule. You guys that are watching this right now, most of you guys are here because you actually want to do something good. You want to learn. You want to grow. You want to continue to hold yourself accountable. You find this entertaining, but you're looking for the meat and you spitting out the bones. You may disagree with me, but also you're looking for the insight that'll allow for you to continue to level up and become the best version of yourself. I'm not talking about you guys. We are but a very, very small, as large as the platform has grown to be, as many people that are tuned in on a regular basis to this live stream. We are but a small piece of the puzzle for what it is that is great about this country and is great in general. I'm not talking about the women in here. I'm talking about the majority, not the minority. Don't try to leverage who it is that I'm laying next to every night against my argument. We're not talking about what the minority is doing. We're talking about the majority. I have to ask myself, because for every one of me, it's 100 more of you that's out there suffering as a result of the things that you got to subject yourself to every single day. What do you expect for people to do? I asked God, I said, who's the enemy? Who are we battling against? Is it principalities? Is it spirituality? Is it a mindset? Is it ourselves? Were these women that were placed on this earth supposed to be a blessing? Or were they supposed to take us through the ringer and test us? It's absolutely about a man or a woman. It's not just about the intentions. Absolutely not. I'll give you this. I'll say this to you, C. Vasilian. I'll say this to you, C. Vasilian. Did you know that most people that do wrong actually don't believe that they're doing wrong? They think that they're doing right. You think that the people that are against you, that are on that battlefield, that are going against U.S. soldiers, you think that they believe that they're wrong, or you don't think that they think that you're wrong and that they fighting what's in the best interest of their own country and their own people? You don't think that this war has now been mobilized against men in a general sense in order to improve their own circumstance? You think that people just come out and say, you know what, I'm going to do some wrong today. No, they've convinced themselves that you are the enemy and you wrong because you trying to do something that's different for what it is that they think the direction of their life is supposed to be going into. They going to leverage what you have. Listen, the same way that y'all sit here and y'all make white people the enemy, because there's people every single day that has never, ever seen any slavery whatsoever. There's people every single day that don't know nothing about what it is that their ancestors. White people they got fathers that ain't even a father also, right? There's people every single day on all ends of the aisle that think that they're on the right side of the decisions that they make it every single day. You think when people came over here and they colonized this place, and they took over America, that they thought that they was doing something wrong? No, they thought that they was doing something right and that they were honoring the place that they came from because that was just normal. You think that the Indians thought that they was wrong to defend themselves and take care of business when it came to the people that was coming over here to colonize their land? Absolutely not. Most of the time when people do something wrong, they think they're doing it right. It ain't about your intentions. It's about your core. It's your core. That's why they say that most people that find themselves in a certain situation, they're rotten to their core. Even to the point to where they've become delusional enough to believe that you're wrong for even defending yourself against me because I'm me and I've come from a place that then require me to do the same thing against you that you haven't even perpetuated against me, but based off of how I program myself historically of what it is that I think is right and wrong. You think that a gang member don't think that the gang that he's in is his family and he will defend them as though they're there for him? While we on the outside looking in, knowing that they a piece of S, trying not to cuss, they think that they have to defend their territory because somebody put something in them to tell them that, hey, you need to stand up for your brother and don't snitch and do this and poison your community. At least you giving out turkeys on Turkey Day. A lot of people that are doing dirty and doing wrong think that they doing right. They think that it makes sense. We've become so reprogrammed to think right is wrong and wrong is right that we don't even know the difference anymore. We don't even know the difference anymore. It's time for a reset. Time for a reset. Let me read some of these super chats. Let's get into the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a fire show like it always is. Delta Fox in the building says the Las Vegas hospitality workers just voted for a strike. Monkey see, monkey do. Everybody wants more money. And as you guys know, who's going to pay for it? The middle class, you. Shout out to y'all. Vegas hospitality workers, shout out to y'all. David Williams says, I love how you interact with the chat. You seem like one of them ones that doesn't let the fame get to your head. What do you think about sales for a career? Should I switch from electrician to sales? I don't know why y'all can't do both. I don't know why y'all can't go into something while also maintaining whatever it is that you do. And shout out to you for saying I'm one of them ones. Yeah. I don't know why y'all can't do both. Explore both. I think that sales is a great career, especially IT sales. IT sales is a great career. I know guys that wind up becoming millionaires as a result of it. I think that you should do both. But in order to build your business or to build where you're going, I think you also have to maintain where you at. I think that that's a great question. I think you can do both. Enos Luby is in the building. Enos says last night's show was fire. Shout out to Enos Luby. I appreciate you, my friend. Christian Bailey is in the building. Shout out to Christian Bailey. Just came through and threw that 20 in the collection plate. I appreciate you. Pretty Boy 79 said yesterday was crazy. God bless you, fam. It's a lot of guys that's getting blessed as a result of tuning in to Wednesday night. Go back and watch that, y'all. Enos Luby says cayenne pepper, lemon, ginger, garlic, and honey tea. Yeah, they giving me a bunch of stuff. I don't know what's going on out here in these streets. I might leave the office early and go and take a nap. I ain't got to do no live streaming tonight. Shout out to all of the mods for showing love. Yeah, Speeds the Beast is in the building. Speed says, sadly, a large portion of the women are the enemy. I do love women, though. And that's what they count on. They count on the idea that we cannot absolve ourselves or remove ourselves from being obsessed with them, which is why it's easy for them to be able to finesse us. To decapitate somebody takes hours. You have to be satanic to black out your mind to do this. It's crazy. I appreciate y'all. Let's continue on with the show. Let's rock out. So, one of my favorite people to react to, has been Eboni K. Williams. Eboni K. Williams has went viral multiple different times this year for a few different hot takes. You may have remembered her from the bus driver conversation with Ayanna Van Zant, and then her doubling down on it and jumping on the Breakfast Club and talking specifically about how it is that she wouldn't or she would and what the state of black men is, and then her freezing eggs and women need to stand up and be modern women and blah, 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 blah. But largely, she set off a conversation earlier this year about, would you date a bus driver? That's what Ayanna Van Zant said. And she got an attitude, and it was really her disposition. It was really the way that she was responding. It wasn't the fact that you have preferences. It was the fact that you responded like you was that deal, yet not necessarily in a relationship or married either. But Eboni K. Williams has recently come out with a new message for black women. And this little message had got buried. And I was like, where is this message at? Because somebody sent it to me in my email. And when I tried to go and find it, I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it on almost any platform. But lo and behold, I put my people on it and they sent it to me and we made sure that we got it up so we can have this conversation. And I wanted to share it with you in its entirety. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the message for you in its entirety. And then we're going to come back and we're going to dissect it frame by frame, all right? Let me show you what the message is that she had for you black women. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, get that TH Hanley 30% off your first order plus a free gift. If you're not a part of the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let's get to it.
The reality that needs to be said out loud is that as black men age, their desirability increases. Thus, their optionality of women is always expanding. And the exact opposite is true for black women. As we age, doesn't matter how much money we accumulate, our degrees or professional accolades, the reality is that our marriage and partnership market value is depreciating with every passing year. No matter how good we look, no matter how fit we are, men are still seeing primarily our presumed dwindling fertility as a knock against us. And speaking of fertility, that is another reason that I want younger black women to seek marriage and partnership in college or right after, if that's what they choose. Because the number of college-educated black men is so low when compared to black college-educated women that we're all going to be targeting the same small pool of men. And as we heard today, on most campuses, there's like 7 black women students for every 1 black man student. Y'all do the math. So here's my advice. If you are a young black woman in college and you know in your heart and in your head that you want to prioritize family, I suggest that you simultaneously pursue that MRS degree right along with that BA or JD. Because the handful of black college-age men that actually do desire to get married soon, and they do share that value system, and family is a priority for them too, y'all, that is an incredibly small pool, and it's shrinking as you get older. And by the time you reach my age, 40, you will be faced with different choices relating to life partnership and motherhood. Now, I'm not saying that delaying marriage or motherhood is a bad option, but it's one that comes with its own consequences. And our women deserve to know on the front end of their decision-making instead of on the back half.
Now, Harpo, who is this woman?
The reality.
Harpo, who is this woman and where did she come from? Who is this woman and where did she come from? I'm very, 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 very much expecting for black women to come after you, lady. The very ones that you pandered to is probably going to be the ones that come after you. Harpo, who is this woman? And where did she come from? Wasn't she the same one that was telling women and was having a conversation about freezing her eggs and how she wouldn't date this guy and women should be doing it and focusing on themselves and high-powered and blah, 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 blah. Question. Who wrote this? Why did she agree to read it? And why is she switching it up? See, Phil said I'll give her props. Phil is so easily finessed. This is how y'all get finessed. Listen, they'll tell you and show you who they are the entire time. They will tell you and show you who they are the entire time. And then they'll switch up the message because they're not necessarily getting the results. Remember, it's a business decision. They'll switch up the message because they're not necessarily getting the results. And there's some key moments in here that you guys missed that I'm going to play over again just so you guys can understand what the hell is happening out here in these streets, okay? And then next thing you know, oh man, I agree with her. We all got to get on the Eboni K. Williams train. No, you don't. No, you don't. All you got to do is be quiet, sit back, fold your arms, and just watch and see what the hell is happening out here. Watch and see what the heck is happening out here. What y'all thought that you was just going to switch up that fast? All of a sudden, everybody is on it. Come on, man. Come on, man. Y'all not that easily finessed, are y'all? Are y'all that easily finessed? Let me tell you. Let's break it down frame by frame. All right? Frame by frame, and then we're going to go from there.
The reality that needs to be said out loud is that as black men age, their desirability increases. Thus, their optionality of women is always expanding.
As men age, I'm going to break it down from a C student's perspective because I understand that she's incredibly educated. She has her degrees and her MSs and her DDAs and the BBAs and the BBLs and all of that stuff. So let me break it down from a C student's perspective, community college guy. A guy that she wouldn't even spit on if I was walking down the street, right? A guy that she wouldn't even acknowledge. I wouldn't even be in her purview. I am a blue collar guy. I am just like you. I am a person that grind and hustle and work my way up to the top. Went to community college. I didn't go to no fancy school. So I'm going to break it down from the real perspective. Let me replay it one more time, and then I'm going to help you to understand how you can translate this. For all of us regular dudes that can see through it, I'm going to break it down for you.
The reality that needs to be said out loud is that as black men age, their desirability increases. Thus, their optionality of women is always expanding.
Listen, when y'all send me these super chats, I need y'all to make sure that y'all don't add more than 2 or 3 syllables, because optionality, ever expanding, all of these different words that I'm a C student. I am very much a remedial man. Call me remedial man. I'm cool with that. Remedial man. Translation: the value of men go up as they age. Is a very easy way to say that. We don't have to go through the optionality of women and all of this other type of stuff. As you get older, and this is true. Here's the key. Everything that she said is 100% spot on. But I need her to credit her sources. You thought that she came up with this on her own? I don't believe so. I need you to cite your sources, ma'am. Was it Kevin Samuels? Was it Anton from AntonDaniels.com? Was it Angry Man? Who was it? Andrew Tate? I don't know. Who are the people that gave you the insight to help you to understand this? I need you to cite your sources and credit them appropriately. This is not a new thought. This is not a new thing. We have been saying this for years on the internet. Years. Optionality of men? No. Let's just break it down. Let me break it all the way down for you. As men age, especially the great ones, especially the ones that y'all called the nerds in high school, the ones you wasn't checking for, now you want them to own the bus, we become exponentially more value and our sexual marketplace value skyrockets. Let's continue.
And the exact opposite is true for black women. As we age, doesn't matter how much money we accumulate, our degrees or professional accolades, the reality is that our marriage and partnership market value is depreciating with every passing year.
Marriage, market value. Let me break it really down, real down. I'm going to get real ignorant right now. Yo, value to men are going down every single day that you age, and the best of you was in your 20s, but you want to get the rest of you to us. And so now guys are starting to wake up, and now that we have the internet, now that we have guys that's able to give you insight and game and understanding on what it is that you are, and it's telling you, hey, listen, don't make a decision based off of where you are, make a decision on where you going to be. Instead of looking at her for what it is that she is now, understand that she's going to evolve and she's going to change as you age. She is 100% right, but I need her to cite her sources. Your sexual marketplace value goes like this. Women are already up here. Men are down here in their 20s. Chicks is going for the dudes that already got cars in high school. Drug dealers, entertainers, rappers, they bust it out, and then it goes like this. And then men continue to ascend, and they stay down, and they stay focused. And Becky over there with the good hair is making sure that she aligns herself with you while you're still in college and on the come up. And meanwhile, your marketplace value is going beep, boop, beep, boop. Translation.
No matter how good we look, no matter how fit we are, men are still seeing primarily our presumed dwindling fertility as a knock against us. And speaking of fertility, that is another reason that I want younger black women to seek marriage and partnership in college or right after, if that's what they choose.
So she don't want to necessarily offend women that was rocking with her when she said that she wouldn't date the bus driver. She wants you to own the company. So that's why they put the if that's what you choose, because I'm only speaking to a certain demographic of people that want to make this decision. But let's be clear. Her message is very, very clear, and I agree with it. Hitch yourself to the guy that's supposed to be best for you, and right after you graduate high school, when you're going into college, that is probably the person that you should marry instead of slutting it out. That is the person that you should be marrying instead of slutting it out. She is 1,000% correct, but I need you to cite your sources. I don't mind people switching up. I don't mind people changing their perspective. I just need them to cite their sources. Their sources. Where you get that from? Do tell. Do tell.
Because the number of college-educated black men is so low when compared to black college-educated women that we're all going to be targeting the same small pool of men.
Oh, so you all want the same guy that's not in jail, that's not gay. Now you want us to have multiple wives. So what she's basically telling you is the same thing that we've been telling you the entire time, is that it is going to be a competition, and the pool of men is not going to be based off of what you feel like you deserve, but what it is that you can acquire and you earn. Oh, so make sure that you don't slut it out. No more body positivity. Make sure you align yourself and hit yourself to the guy that's supposed to be best for you, the guy that you left, the guy that you said that you didn't want and you wanted to come back around, and you keep stalking his Facebook page, keep hoping that he divorced his wife. So now you want to jump on the bandwagon. Now you want to start giving women advice on how it is that they're supposed to move when it comes to the people that they align themselves to. Now your marketplace value is not that high. Let me add in a caveat, because this was only a 2-minute video, but let me add in a caveat really quickly. Another caveat of this conversation is this. More women are enrolled, but that does not necessarily mean that they're making more money or that they're not more in debt. Shout out to my people that started paying their college student loans again. More people and more women are enrolled, but it doesn't mean that they're translating that into more success. Doesn't mean that they're picking the right curriculums and degrees to go and seek after. Does not mean that they're not acquiring a ton of student loan debt that they're not going to be able to pay off, that you're going to have to hit yourself to. Fellas, don't think that just because she young and she pretty and she at the apex of what she is at that time is going to substantiate whether or not you should be with her. I think that women and men should be getting their degrees, and they should be intentional on the curriculum that they decide to go into. But let's be clear. Let's add a caveat on that. They're still picking trash basket weaving degrees. They still going to school and acquiring a bunch of student loan debt, and they still for the streets because they getting bussed down on campus. Let's be clear. But she's absolutely right. She's 100% right in everything that she's saying, and I just want her to cite her sources.
And as we heard today, on most campuses, there's like 7 black women students for every 1 black man student. Y'all do the math. So here's my advice. If you are a young black woman in college and you know in your heart and in your head that you want to prioritize family, I suggest that you simultaneously pursue that MRS degree right along with that BA or JD.
Wait a minute. She's basically telling people the opposite of what all of these women are advocating for her to do. All of the women that supported her. Remember when women say, hey, live your best life, and then when you ready, settle down? She said, oh, wait. You need to be simultaneously focusing on what's going to be best for your family long term while you're in college making the best of your time. How the pendulum swing. How you come back to the front of the congregation after a much humbling experience. What do you think that happened to Miss Eboni K. Williams that caused her to start having a different disposition about what it is that we see in the day? What do y'all think? What do you think happened? You think it was another man that told her that he loved her and then broke her heart, and so that's why she over there freezing her? I don't know. I'm guessing. Shout out to the super chats. Definitely going to be kicking in with those shortly. I have no idea. What do you think happened to help humble her, to help change her position, her disposition towards this whole situation? What happened to girl empowerment, focusing? Now you know that everybody gonna switch on Eboni K. Williams. I love to get her on the show. I can't wait to get these type of women on the show. If they ever decide that they want to cam up, I am more than welcome to be able to have a conversation. But let's continue.
Because the handful of black college-age men that actually do desire to get married soon, and they do share that value system, and family is a priority for them too, y'all, that is an incredibly small pool, and it's shrinking as you get older. And by the time you reach my age, 40, you will be faced with different choices relating to life partnership and motherhood. Now, I'm not saying that delaying marriage or motherhood is a bad option, but it's one that comes with its own consequences. And our women deserve to know on the front end of their decision-making instead of on the back half. The number of
So you basically telling me what it is that I've been telling them for the extended period of time, but you think that they're going to listen to you and do anything differently outside of doing exactly what they've been doing for all of this time. Wow. You telling me it took you to get 40 years old in order to learn this? I don't believe it. I'm going to be honest with you. I believe she believes in what she's saying, but I believe that she's also pivoting for an ulterior motive. I just don't believe women by default no more. Sorry, ladies. The other women ruined it for y'all. We just can't just start believing y'all just because you women and that you halfway decent looking. We got to be able to substantiate your argument, and we need to understand where you're coming from as a result of it. Don't y'all get finessed. Don't y'all get finessed. Be very, very careful. All women come back to the front of the congregation. All women come back to the front of the congregation when they start having problems. Do not get finessed. Let me read some of these super chats and then we're going to move over into the show. That is wild. When y'all sent that to me, I said, what is going on in these streets? Jake Fever says, you wanted them tools. Two here to go get $2 bill and the $2 bill, the bill's the $2 bills. I have no idea. Shout out to my dog, Jake Fever. I appreciate you, big dog. Tommy R. Full says, we have the enemy. We have seen the enemy, and he is us. Pogo. Shout out to Tommy R. Full. I appreciate you, big dog. Thank you for continuing to support the platform. Stephanie, what up to Stephanie? Says, keep doing what you're doing, Anton. Thank you, Steph. I appreciate you, baby girl. I got a cousin named Stephanie. I like her, too. She dope. Mr. P says, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Shout out to Mr. P. I appreciate you. Sino Shore says, shout out to AD and Kevin Samuels because he called it. Yes, he did. And he's still living in these chicks' heads rent-free. Jay Tay says she definitely been listening to you on Mondays. All of these women be listening, man. They do, and they don't just want to give us the credit. They want to act like it's a new idea. Azariah 23 says she's now possessed by KS, or she's watching the economic explosion, or maybe she's just lonely. Hit me up. I could fix that. Let me coach you to success. Persevere Data TV says, remember people in high school and college switched out the words in an essay to avoid plagiarism and still got caught. Scooby Don says, Eboni is a chameleon. She didn't change who she is on the inside, just her outer appearance. She's still the same person from a few months ago. Who's she fooling? Well, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. Shout out to John Wick. John Wick says Mrs. Williams, or Miss Williams was watching Rollo Tomasi. You might be right. You absolutely right. Jay Tay says she all over the place. 6 months ago, she told women the opposite. Maybe this has always been her sentiment, but she sold out because she was getting engagement from women who align with that mindset. Who knows? I don't know what her wake-up call was, but it's very interesting to hear her pivot. Aaron says, I met a chick the other day who's getting a degree in creativity. Aaron, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. I met a chick the other day who's getting a degree in creativity. I kid you not. I said to myself, what is a degree in creativity, Aaron? I have never heard of a degree in creativity. I didn't even know they had a creativity curriculum. Jake says she had her fun. You can too. 100 bodies before you settle. Oh, my God. No. That's how you get diseases, Jake. Do not advocate for this. That's how you get that hive, all right? Philly B215 says, how many successful black men did Eboni pass up? Or passed her up? That's a real question. David Simpson Jr. says, no more Jezebel spirit. I appreciate you. And then my dog, Jay Tay, says, Anton, how did your event go that you had? Is there a way to see it? JT. In Dallas? You talking about the one in Dallas? I got up out of there, fam. I got up out of there. But Patreon meetups be lit. If you want to kick it with me at the Patreon meetup on November 4th, make sure you join into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Shout out to my dog, JT. It's some real egocentric, haughty, arrogant, I don't really care what the sentiment of the people is. I'm going to do what I'm going to do. Mayors and governors that are running around in the United States of America. It's some people in this country that don't care nothing about nothing that nobody is going through, and they're going to do what they want to do when they're going to do it, and they don't care nothing about what you think. They don't care about what your criticism is. They don't care about whether or not you think that they spending money wrong. They don't care about whether or not you think that the black community should be holding them accountable. They don't care about the sentiments and the mindset of the people that they servicing in their city. It's some people that straight up just don't care about what you think or care to even hear what you got to say. Even if you're right, they are going to keep doing what they want to do when they want to. And I believe that one of those people are Brandon Johnson over in Chicago. I don't think that Brandon Johnson has ever had this type of smoke before in his life. I don't think that he even knew who I was before he decided to run for mayor, because if he did, then he would know that I'm going to hold Chicago accountable. I know Brandon Johnson is probably reading this and looking at these videos and looking at my clips, and he's saying, man, who is this black guy over in Detroit that always got a black shirt on and is always bringing me to the front of the congregation? I guarantee you that there are people in Chicago that watch this live stream, that send it to him regularly, or he be tuning in and he just turn it right off because he don't want to hear what we got to say. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. One thing that I know for sure is people always check to see what people are saying about them, especially when you're a public figure on the internet. These basketball players, these entertainers, these rappers, these boxers, these IG models, they are always keenly aware of what's going on and what people think about them. I guarantee you that he like, yo, I know I'm not going to be dealing with this. How can I deal with this more effectively as far as coming to the front of the congregation? Well, you're going to have to humble yourself, Brandon. You're going, listen, let me talk to you. I'm going to have a one-on-one with you, and then we're going to bring you to the front of the congregation again. You're going to have to humble yourself, Brandon. Shout out to Chris James. I'm going to be reading that super chat shortly in Cap God. Brandon, you're going to have to humble yourself, Brandon. What, you thought that just because you're the son of a preacher, that you was a part of the county commission or whatever it is that they said, and you was a teacher, that you was going to get a pass because you was black? Well, I expected this from white people. I did not expect this from my own kind. I love my people over there in Chicago. I bought my first Rolex over in Chicago. We used to go over to Chicago and visit the Miracle Mile and go shopping out there and all of this stuff. And now I can't even go to Chicago because Chicago is in shambles. And you know the interesting thing about this whole situation is as soon as we start bringing him to the front of the congregation, you know what he do? He doubled down on us. He doubled down on us. He said, listen, I know that y'all know that we sent $57 million over to the staffing company just this year, since last year, in order to make sure that these migrants is taken care of. I know that we over $600 million in a budget deficit. I don't care nothing about that. I don't care nothing about what it is that y'all got going on in these streets. We gonna build these tents. And then he tripled down, and you know what he said? I'm gonna show you. I don't want you to take my word for it. I'm gonna let him say it.
More breaking news now. Residents on the north side demand.
Hold on. I don't want to show that part because all of the goons over there in Chicago is beating up people that got pizza in their hand. We don't want to show that part.
Rena?
Joe, this is the scheduled monthly police district council meeting. That's the time when police meet with community members to talk about solutions for public safety in their district. And people are just starting to file in now. But we are hearing from community members across the city that they intend on coming to this meeting to have their voices heard. They want to have that conversation. And it is anticipated that the idea, the concept of the increase in robberies is going to come up, especially during public comment this afternoon, because earlier today, especially in Bucktown, there have been 5 robberies in just a few hours. One
I was muted. My bad. Let me go ahead and kick it. My bad. I was going in. What y'all have to understand is that when y'all see this stuff happening, right? When you see what's being played out on the news, what is happening in real time. It's happening in real time. This is why I like interacting with the chat, because you guys keep me on my toes. When I have to record by myself sometimes, I be muted the whole time, and then I'll be pissed off. I'll be super pissed off because I'm not interacting with the chat. And so I can't see it until I play the video back, and then I got to re-record the whole thing, and then I'm pissed off as a result of it. As a result of it, I can look at y'all, I can interact with the chat, and then y'all keep me on my toes. So I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for letting me know that I was muted. But let me break it down. This is happening in real time. The reports that you guys are getting is not from 2 or 3 days ago. It's not from 4 or 5 days ago. It's not from 6 days ago. These are not news reports and things that's going on from multiple different days ago. This is, when I jump on here and I talk about what's going on in Chicago, I'm telling you about what's going on in real time. This happened last night. Northside robberies was happening last night in the Bucktown area. Have y'all ever been to the Bucktown area? I ain't never been to the Bucktown area. Last night, a bunch of different robberies. And then across the other way, a bunch of different robberies. People that was robbing each other over at the bus stop. They was robbing people at the bus stop. You got to be a sick puppy to rob people over at the bus stop. Don't worry, we're going to get there. Let's continue to play this.
On Western and Milwaukee, one on North Damon, North Francisco, Maplewood, North Avenue, and on Homer and Rockwell Streets. This is just a bit of what we heard come across Police Scanner this afternoon.
How many recent robberies did they just commit? I guess in the last, 30 minutes, 45.
I'm guessing about 4 or 5 between the two vehicles.
You got to catch the police scanners now to just catch up on how many robberies is taking place by the same people over and over again in different parts of town on a regular basis. Yo, I think we need to create a channel. For somebody that's smart, they need to create a channel just based off of the police scanner that's going on in Chicago, and they just need to react to it and listen to it. They should do a live stream where they turn on the police scanners in all of these blue cities and go live and react to the different stuff that's happening. You would be doing the cities more justice than the actual legislators that live in these cities. Let me get on Amazon and order me some police scanners. Where do I get police scanners to where I can hear all the way over in Chicago? I need to know what's going on. They just listen to police scanners now and say, it was robberies over here, robberies over there, robberies over here, robberies over there. They all crashing out.
Man, they hungry. Okay.
Those robberies, they all happened so fast you couldn't even tell they happened in the locations you're looking at on your screen. It appears The person or people who robbed at least one of the victims was in a car at Western and Milwaukee. We did see a police car at Damon and Charleston where police say 3 people, 2 of whom were armed, robbed a 36-year-old man at gunpoint. And on North Francisco, it's not clear if the person that committed these crimes was the same at all 3 scenes, but it's the frequency of the robberies that has neighbors, like one we spoke to, attending community meetings even in different neighborhoods, just so their voices are heard.
Somebody gonna hear the game that I just gave y'all, the alley-oop that I gave y'all, and a lot of y'all gonna be like, I don't really care. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, that was a good idea that Anton gave us, that alley-oop, but we just gonna sit on it, and other people gonna be executing, and they're gonna have a big old channel, and they're gonna be making a whole bunch of money as a result of it. Somebody gonna take the idea that I gave them and they're gonna implement it. They're gonna figure out how to refine it, implement it, and make more money as a result of it. And then the rest of y'all just gonna be sitting there acting like I didn't give y'all a good idea. Let's continue.
Oh, I'm scared. People come to my business and they're like, oh, what's the crime like? I'm like, you could be mugged out tomorrow night. You leave my business, when you step out, look to the left, to the right, and carry baseball bats, you know?
The news that has neighbors most concerned, most frustrated, in addition to the frequency, is that there have not been any arrests in any of the cases that we mentioned, nor had there been an arrest in the case in Bucktown that we previously told you about, where that video went viral, which is why some of them are showing up to this meeting here to, again, share those ideas, hopefully come up with some solutions, and we'll, of course, keep you posted if anything does come out of this meeting.
Let me pivot. Now, let me give you what Brandon Johnson is talking about specifically. I'm going to start that channel idea. Y'all better beat me to it.
Dozens more migrants are now calling Chicago home tonight, arriving in the city by bus today. We have team coverage tonight, live from a border city where those buses start their journey. But we begin with CBS 2's Maribel Gonzalez, taking our questions about how the city will handle the recent influx of asylum seekers right to Mayor Brandon Johnson. Maribel?
Yeah, Joe, here in our newsroom, we've been keeping track of those numbers. We know that since last August, more than 15,000 migrants have arrived in Chicago, more of them coming in tonight just hours ago. And with aid and shelter running thin, we asked Mayor Brandon Johnson if the city of Chicago would continue to be a safe haven. Following a near record day of bus arrivals, more of them chartered into the city. Late Wednesday night, we were there as adults and small children stepped off a bus and were greeted with blankets. Volunteers.
Yo, that's crazy. When I get off the bus, I ain't greeted with nothing but a bunch of insults from people that think that they know me and got something to say to me. No, I'm just kidding. When the last time that y'all even got a dap when y'all got off the bus? But they greeted with blankets, food, clothing, shelter. They got free transportation. They ain't even got a hitchhike. More than 15,000 migrants have arrived in Chicago since they became a sanctuary city late last year. And they greeted with love, tranquility, appreciation. We're happy to have you here. And on behalf of the administration from Mayor Brandon Johnson, we welcome you to Chicago. Come on in. We got housing, we got food, we got health care, we got clothes, we got everything for you. This is what Mayor Brandon Johnson had to say about it.
Helping them say they're doing so with limited resources.
We cannot afford to accommodate this.
And some residents are calling for the city to put more funding into their communities instead.
Listen, ma'am. My black queen, she's my queen to be. My black queen. Ain't nobody looking out for y'all. You gonna have to figure it out on your own because it's so cold in the... Oh, that's Detroit. My bad. She's my queen to be. Ain't nobody helping you, ma'am. All of our resources is tied up with the migrant crisis, okay? And we need to get what it is that Mayor Brandon Johnson want to say about this whole situation.
Southside has been under-resourced, underfunded for years, for decades. And it's disrespectful to the community.
We took these concerns to Mayor Brandon Johnson. We've seen police stations saturated, volunteers stretched thin. With all of that said, will Chicago continue to be a welcoming sanctuary city?
Yes.
We got to give Mayor Brandon Johnson some credit, y'all. Before we get the context, we got to give Mayor Brandon Johnson credit for answering the question directly and then adding the context. He just told you straight up. Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda. Mayor Brandon Johnson was very direct. He was very direct. They said, listen, with stretched resources, it's getting cold out here in Chicago. You guys are over budget. They're overwhelming the police stations. Are you guys going to still remain a sanctuary city? Say yes. He said, I'm going to have y'all playing basketball in Pelican Bay. I'll run this here. You just live here. Oh, y'all think y'all got something on me? Y'all think y'all got something on me? I'm convinced that Mayor Brandon Johnson is actually the police detective man from Training Day. That he actually should have been, that they modeled Training Day, Denzel Washington's character, after Brandon Johnson. He said, I'll run this here. You just live here. Is this going to still be a sanctuary city, Mayor Brandon Johnson? Yes. Yes. Now, I want to see what the context is, but I just need to replay this because I know that y'all don't think that this is a real question. Y'all don't think that this is a real thing. Don't worry about it. You voted for him. Y'all worried about him. Alonzo. Shout out to Alonzo Johnson. Brandon Johnson is now Alonzo from Training Day. I'm about to do a whole documentary on Chicago. It's going to be epic.
To the community.
We took these concerns to Mayor Brandon Johnson. We've seen police stations saturated, volunteers stretched thin. With all of that said, will Chicago continue to be a welcoming sanctuary city?
Yes.
Jake. Smoke that up, boy. Get that in your system. Breathe that in your lungs, Jake. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Let me hear that wolf. Let me hear that wolf in you, Jake. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Money. Russians can't do nothing to me. I'm going to just tap into one of my old ones. You know, like one of my first ones. We got it all set up. I just need to go ahead from you guys over there at Biden, the Biden administration. Let me tap into one of my old ones. Whoop, whoop, whoop. You got them fresh lungs, huh? Let's hear the context as to why it is that he wants to remain a sanctuary city.
Look, during difficult times, sometimes there are individuals
spit it out,
who feel the pressure, and sometimes our values are called into question. We're the city of Chicago.
Huh.
And this mission that the entire country has endured over the last year and a half, has been one that, of course, that has pressed our convictions. But we don't necessarily have to acquiesce to fear.
What's up with all these big words that everybody is using and they don't think that we gonna understand and that Anton is not gonna break it down from a C student's perspective? Don't acquiesce me. Don't acquiesce me over into fear and to succumb and our convictions and all of that. Listen, we paying an egregious amount of money. We homeless. We got crime running rampant. We can't catch the bus. We can't go to school. It's toe up out here. We ain't got no jobs. Our property taxes is high. We getting evicted. Inflation is out of control. And this country is going to the drain. What are you talking about? Our convictions and acquiescing over into the fears and the woes of the world. Don't acquiesce me. Man, y'all better stop using these big words when we out here angry and concerned. Listen. The one thing that I don't like is when people start to use big words on me like I don't know what the heck is going on. Like I can't use my context clues as a C student and be over here breaking it down. I know what you meant. You calling me a fool. That's what you are. Ain't that what your grandmama and your granddaddy would say? Oh, you calling me a fool, huh? No, grandmama, I said acquiesce. Grandmama, you ain't never heard of the word acquiesce? You know grandmama ain't never heard of the word acquiesce over it before. I think he just called me a fool. Oh, you think I'm dumb, huh? Oh, you think you smarter than the rest of us? You think we not going to understand what it is that you just said, huh? You think we can't use our context clues? You think we don't know what the heck is going on? Don't finesse me. Don't word salad me. Don't do none of that. Basically, you saying, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. No. What you meant to say is that you're rebellious. That's what grandma used to say. That's what grandma used to say. Oh, you think you smart. You got that little fancy education and you think you smart, huh? What you really meant to say is that I'm a rebel without a cause. Oh, I'm rebellious. Say it. I'm rebellious. I'm rebellious. I promise not to use no more big words, grandmama. He basically told y'all, he said, look, say what you want to say. I'm going to do what I want to do when I want to do it at the taxpayer expense, and I'm still going to get my salary.
Ed, will Chicago continue to be a welcoming sanctuary city?
Yes. Look, during difficult times, sometimes there are individuals who feel the pressure, and sometimes our values are called into question. We're the city of Chicago. And this mission that the entire country has endured over the last year and a half, has been one that, of course, that has pressed our convictions.
He sounds just like a preacher. He sounds just like a preacher. Spell acquiesce. A-C-Q-U-E-S. A-C-W-Q-U-E-S.
But we don't necessarily have to acquiesce.
No, you didn't just hit me with that word.
Fear, because we are being pressed.
The mayor also adding that the city continues to open shelters and its goal is to move people out of the police stations, but did not give a timeline of when that would be.
We're going to continue to work hard to come up with a solution that works for everyone in the city.
It's insane. Meanwhile, in the same night, right after they got done with their press conference,
neighbors in two Southside communities woke up to unwelcome news today. Violent armed robberies. This time, several of the victims were just waiting for the bus. We've been
whatever system that they implemented, it ain't working for nobody.
Telling you for months about groups of armed suspects jumping out of cars and robbing people. Now surrounding suburbs are experiencing these same crimes. New at 10, our Charlie DeMar spoke with police about what neighbors should know.
Good evening. Police here in Oak Park call this recent string of carjackings and armed robberies a trend. So do Chicago police. The chief here in Oak Park says she is confident that arrests will be made.
Y'all got to remember that, again, all of these different stories that I'm sharing with y'all is literally happening same day or overnight.
In a span of about 3 hours, the quiet suburb of Oak Park awakened by a rash of overnight armed robberies, carjackings, and an assault this week. 6 incidents in all, concentrated on the north part of the community.
These aren't isolated. This is part of a pattern, and so hopefully we find a solution.
Roberto Bias says he spoke to an Oak Park police officer moments after a woman was robbed of her purse. Her attackers jumped out of a car with guns, stole cash and credit cards, and then dumped the purse in a backyard near Bia's home.
A short time later, I saw him identify the purse over someone's fence.
What's going on? I mean, is it like a war? Is it a trend? I mean, have they found a new nugget to explore, people that are, criminally minded.
Oak Park Police Chief Shatanya Johnson says at least one of the cars used in Oak Park was recovered in Chicago.
We're also collaborating with our surrounding suburbs because, as you are aware, crime doesn't stop at borders.
Leaders with CPD say teens and stolen cars are in large part responsible for the increase of armed robberies in the city. This year, Chicago has recorded 1,400 more robberies compared to this time last year.
Wait, let's be clear. Let's be very, very clear. These are not teens that are robbing people. These are large gatherings, and they just so happen to stumble upon some belongings of somebody else's. These are not teens that are robbing people. These are large gatherings, and they just so happen to stumble on the belongings of somebody else in their own pockets, and in their homes, and their neighborhoods, and in their cars, and then the windows just so happen to get bust as a result of it. Let's be clear, okay? I don't want y'all to get this misconstrued. There I go, using Mayor Brandon Johnson's words again. I don't want y'all to get this misconstrued. This is not people committing crimes and young people out in the streets, busting heads and taking names and robbing people at the bus stop. These are large gatherings of young people that are coming together under God, indivisible, one nation, for justice and liberty for all. Just so happen to stumble upon somebody else's belongings, and they couldn't get it back to them in time. That's what this is, okay?
Citywide, there have been over 7,300 reported robberies.
There's definitely a trend going on. However, it's not impossible to identify them.
This is not something that you expect in Oak Park, but now that it's happened, and particularly 6 in one evening, now it's front of mind all the time.
Listen, this is my advice for y'all. Run, but change your mindset wherever it is that you go, and don't bring your same voting habits and policies and tendencies to wherever it is that you... No, actually, you know what? I think that everybody that's in Chicago deserve what it is that they getting. Y'all voted for them, now eat that junk. Y'all voted for them, now eat it. Don't sit here and run to us now and ask for help. No, don't run away from Chicago. You deserve this. Let me read some of these super chats, and then we're going to continue over with the show. Got multiple different things that we want to cover. Shout out to Executive Suite. Emily says, well. Is that little old Eboni on the Summer Jam screen turning her back on the sisterhood? She must have seen the Millionaire Morning Show. You know these people be watching my show. You know we the hottest morning show on earth. It's over 2,000 people in here right now. Get the likes up. Get the likes up. Get the likes up. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Peace and Pan-Africanism. Shout out to Executive Suite MLE. Jean J. Claudio says more black women in schools, entrepreneurs, and with degrees than black men. Yet the real stat that matters, median income, doesn't reflect them doing better. Anton, keep pushing your message. I'm on it. And shout out to my Canadian brethren in the building. Chris James. Oh, hold on. Wait. Shout out to Chris James, says, paid them tithes, God first before the weekend. Now I'm donating to Anton. Chris, thank you. Appreciate you. You are more than appreciated over here at the Millionaire Morning Show. I love you, my friend. Thank you for holding me down. And shout out to everybody that contributes to the platform, whether it's $1 or it's $50. I'm going to acknowledge everybody. Thank you, Chris James. You are absolutely celebrated, my friend. Cap God 89 says, are you ever going to have Princella on? For what? What? Let me ask y'all a question. Why? For what? I'm going to leave that there. Thank you for the 10 ball. Thank you for the 10 ball. I'm all about positivity and building people. You know what I'm saying? And holding these politicians and these legislators accountable. Jay Tay says, Anton, I love my city, but F this city. It's so bad. Me and my girl talked about putting Omaha on the list for possible destinations to move to. Here's the key. Here's the key, though. Here's the key. Do not take your voting patterns wherever it is that you go. Do not take your voting patterns wherever it is that you go. All right? Shout out to J-Tay. Get up out of there, man. David Simpson says elections have consequences, local and general. I appreciate you. Thank you, my friend. Y Harp 210 is in their building. They came through and dropped that 10 ball in the collection plate. I appreciate you. Forsaken Archive says Chi-Town, y'all superheroes in real life. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you, my friends. Jamal Fowler says, Anton, hey, yo, Anton, how much do these cities get in kickback for housing immigrants? There is money grab. I think so, too. I think so, too. Listen, don't get me started. Don't get me to start, you know what I'm saying, thinking about all of the different ways in which money is flying over here and over there. Let's continue to run it up. Listen, I love y'all. Let's continue to do what we do. I'm reading super chats throughout the show. Philly is taking a completely different approach, though. I'm surprised at Philly. Because every single time I keep thinking about going to Philly, I said, listen, I'm going to go over to Kensington Avenue. But guess what happened for a second night in a row, right after the Millionaire Morning Show? Guess what happened for the second night in a row over there in Philly? They did the same thing that they did yesterday. They hit the Apple store, the Lululemon store yesterday. And today they probably hit AutoZone, trying to get some catalytic converters. Today they hit AutoZone. Who knows? I don't know where they hit. But for the second night in a row, Philadelphia experienced looting. That means that nobody was holding their kids accountable and keeping them in the house. But I'm going to give a little bit of credit to Philly. I'm going to lay off of Philly not so much, but a little bit today, because at least Philly started putting their police, and they enabled their police to start arresting these little monsters. Let's go and see what's happening over at Philly.
In Philadelphia, there's been a second straight night of looting.
What up, Mira?
Stores throughout the city were ransacked last night.
What up, what up, what up?
Dozens of suspects have been arrested in these robberies. Waukesha Bailey from our CBS station in Philadelphia has more on the story. Waukesha, these stories and these video is so upsetting. Good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning, Gail. It's really heartbreaking. Nat's Beauty Supply Store here in Philadelphia is just one of dozens of businesses that's been left in shambles after last night's looting. Now, I did speak with the owner, and she tells me that her business has only been opened for 6 months. Overnight surveillance video captures the moment a group breaks into this business. In less than 1 minute, they swipe merchandise off the walls and shelves, leaving...
Hold on, look at all of them zesty people that just ran up in there. Hold on, let me back that up real quick. Look at how they pranced in.
Overnight surveillance video captures the moment a group breaks into this business. In less than 1 minute, they swipe merchandise...
Oh, no, that ain't zesty. Those are some hood rats. Those are hood rats. Yo, we got a bunch of hood rats busting into the beauty supply. Listen. Please don't tell me how y'all for the community. We got hood rats dressing up and busting into the black-owned businesses in order to steal bundles. Oh, my God. You got to be kidding me. No, y'all didn't bust into the beauty supply store in order to steal some bundles. At first, I thought that there was some zesties. I was like, what was these zesties running in here like that, prancing in? And I said, wait a minute, those are black women. Those are black women. Let's hear it. Let's see how y'all steal from y'all own. See, y'all don't just steal from the people that's going to take the insurance money. Y'all don't just steal from the people that's going to take the insurance money and move out. Y'all stealing from the ones that's in your own community that open up businesses in your community. You know how disheartening it got to be?
It's off the walls and shelves, leaving Nat's Beauty Supply in ruins.
How am I supposed to fix this? What's next? Because I don't know.
Elsewhere in Philadelphia, smashed windows, broken bottles, and shelves wiped clean of merchandise is what remains of this liquor store. Thieves grew even bolder on Wednesday, ripping out what was once an ATM at this Wells Fargo bank. The looting rampage began Tuesday night when throngs of mostly young people forced their way into the stores, filling up trash bags with merchandise.
Courts need to make sure these people pay a price for what they did.
So far, police have made 52 arrests. These grab and run crimes have become a familiar scene in many stores across the country. Nationwide, retailers lost $112 billion last year.
Because of what we're seeing on the theft and the violence, those factors are starting to play a higher role in the retailer's decision to close.
Those impacts hitting major retailers like Target, which is closing 9 stores across 4 states next month because of theft. And despite the destruction, Nat's Beauty Supply store here in Philadelphia says that they still plan to open their doors today. Now, we have seen quite a bit of police presence throughout the city in response to yesterday's looting. Meanwhile, officials tell us that they are prepared to make arrests.
Look at the store. Look at the store. Y'all want to see y'all queen? Listen, women don't support women. Look at that woman. This is a hard-working woman that put her blood, sweat, and tears into opening a store in the community because y'all said that y'all want to shop in somebody else's store that look like you. And the minute that you've seen an opportunity to break in and steal some bundles, who's steal hair? Who's stealing hair? And then a lot of y'all wanted to sit here and have a conversation with me talking about, Anton, this is payback, civil unrest for the determination of them finding a person not guilty for what happened. No, these are anarchists and opportunists that run into your community, steal from your stores, destroy your neighborhood, run the property values low, don't have any more funding for schools because everybody tore up everything in the neighborhood, and then you're going to sit here and blame it on the system. You're going to blame it on the system. That's what you're going to do. You're going to blame it on systematic oppression when this is really just an opportunity for you to come up and leverage somebody else's pain for your gain. A temporary solution for a long-term problem. This is pure anarchy. This is nothing but the purge. This is nothing but the purge. You steal from anybody. You don't care who it is. You don't care if they look like you. Listen, stealing is stealing, but I just want to remove the excuse that y'all always making and that you stealing from the man. No, you stealing from her. You stealing from her. You're stealing from somebody that look just like you. Now you don't have any excuse as to whether or not it's systematic anymore. So now that we remove that excuse, now that we know that you're not just stealing from men, you also stealing from women. You're stealing from women that look like you. You're stealing from women that's hardworking. You keep talking about how you support the community. Y'all keep talking about all of this, but you don't have no smoke for the people that's stealing and killing, and you know who did it. You know where the bundles are. You know where the wigs are. You know that wig don't fit you. And you now are taking from the very people that are putting the stores and the businesses and people to work and paying salaries and the taxes in your community. Do y'all know how disheartening it is from somebody to take from you and you put your blood, sweat, and tears into something? I remember I went to go and put a house, and this was a long time ago. This was like in 2010. And I had bought some properties in a distressed area, and we were going to fix it up. And we were going to, because my biggest thing when I moved out of Detroit at that time, because it was really, really bad around 2008, my biggest thing when I had moved out of the city, before I moved out of the city, was that, man, if all of the good people leave, then what's going to happen to the rest of the people? And so I had bought some properties in a distressed area, and we were putting a lot of money into them. And we had put like $25,000 because we had just started the project into the property. And we went and we locked it up and everything like that. And we came back the next morning, and everything that we bought was all stolen and probably taken back to wherever it is that we got it from. And it was at that very moment that I said, all right, that was my wake-up call. That was my wake-up call. It wasn't fully my wake-up call because I wound up suffering some more. When I had opened up my first restaurant and I built it out and I took y'all through the journey on my other YouTube channel when doing it, and I hired people that look like me, and I was serving the community. The people that supported me the most wasn't the people that looked like me. It was the people that didn't look like me. They were coming from far and wide in order to rock with me because they rock with my content. They had rock with the urban exploration videos, right? We was running it up, all of that. But the people that I hired, the people that looked like me, the people that was rocking with me, broke a window, stealing the phones. As soon as we would get a delivery, they would steal money. They was pocketing the money, wasn't even charging the customers because they had got so familiar with the prices, right? We missing all of the food. They caught their friends and family coming in the middle of the night. We getting alerts like, hey, who is in the store? And how come the door is not broken down? Oh, it's employees, and he in there cooking for his friends and his family. As soon as you get a delivery, it's going right out the door because they said, okay, Anton is catching on to us stealing. And so now we can see whole boxes of turkey legs and chicken wings come in, and then they going right back out the door. We like, hey, we didn't sell out of all of them chicken wings, did we? Everybody just looking like they don't know what's going on. Meanwhile, they stealing you blind. You have no clue what it's like to have to deal with people that destroy you that you actually have their best interests at heart. I feel her pain. I feel her pain. I've been through it. I went through it. This is why I'm sitting here with you today and able to hold people accountable, because all of these people online that talk all of this stuff, let me help you to understand something. They ain't never built nothing for nobody, and they don't know what you go through as a result of trying to do something that's best for your community. They don't know what it's like to be spat on. They don't know when you put $114,000 into a business or into a restaurant and they steal you blind as a result of it. They don't know the fact that you paying huge wages. Do you know I paid my people on average like $18 an hour back then, starting off? Young dudes, young women, women that got kids and children. They didn't have cars, but it was a close enough location for them to be able to walk to work. And I was paying them between $18 and $20 an hour just to start off. And they stealing from you? I was paying people out of my pocket because we had to make sure that they was taken care of early because she had to get her kid from custody and all of this other type of stuff. Can I get my check early, Anton? Yeah. I switched over from paying people every 2 weeks to every 1 week in order to make sure that they had money in their pocket. People showing up drunk. People that ain't never built nothing don't understand what it's like to have to deal with nonsense that you deal with in your community and from the people that look like you. But I'm going to just tell you, it happens every single day. And the good ones, just like in a relationship, are the ones that suffer the most. It's a fact, though. I never abandoned my city. My city abandoned me at that particular time. But I always been here and always been rocking out. And so all of these other people that's online talking this nonsense and this blackity black junk miss me with it because you ain't there. You ain't never been nothing for nobody other than yourself. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of what's happening in these communities and we not holding each other accountable as a result of it. You can steal from me. You can kill me. You can take my stuff. And then you can say free your cousin that did it. And he's supposed to do a lightened sentence just because we want jail reform. Stop it. Stop it. Should be ashamed of yourselves.
Stores across Philadelphia either closed, boarded up, and in some cases both after a long night of looting.
More than 50 people have been arrested so far, including 3 juveniles. Police say they responded to more than 70 incidents since last night. They're also investigating how 7 vehicles were stolen off a lot in the Northeast.
Now, this all followed peaceful protests that were in response to a judge dismissing all charges against former Philadelphia officer Mark Dial in the deadly shooting of Eddie Irizarry. And police stressing that the looting had nothing to do with those protests. I'm Jason Martinez.
I'm Sheba Russell. We're also learning that all fine wine and good spirit stores in Philly and also one in Montgomery County are closed today after 18 stores were looted.
But guess what? All of the bookstores still got books in them. All of the Kindles are still there. The grocery store still got all of their apples, but all of the liquor stores is looted. Cigarettes, tobacco, and liquor all taken. And they took some Doritos just for good measure. But the apples, the fruit, the bananas, the tomatoes, the celery, the onions, the asparagus, all of that stuff, and the books. Warren Buffett's Buffettology, right? Winning by Tim Grover, How to Win Friends and Influence People, Random Walk Down Wall Street, all of those good books. The Subtle Art of Not Giving a F by Mark Manson, I think that's what his name is. Huh? All of those are still there. All of those, the bookstore is unscathed. There isn't a footstep around the bookstore, but all 18 liquor stores ransacked. And beauty supply stores.
We've got you covered tonight.
Our Shana Ferreira spoke with one of the owners of several pharmacies that were hit, but let's start
And
with
the
Steve
pharmacy.
Keeley out surveying the damage.
Jesus
and if
Christ.
Police are preparing for even more looting tonight. Steve.
Yeah, and talking to shoppers upset that they can't buy a bottle of wine that they wanted to take to the local BYOB, and they didn't know why, and that was because they're closed until further notice. Even though no employees in all those Pennsylvania liquor stores were hurt, they're understandably shaken, and so that's why they're shut down for the time being, and we'll see if they reopen. Same goes for a lot of other stores, but here where I am, it's the fashion district. Folks in Philadelphia who lived as long as I have in this town know it's as the gallery still. Police all over this place, and sadly they're here because as they were kind of a step behind last night, tonight they're 2 steps ahead, they say, and they came here because they got word on social media that there was going to be trouble planned for this place at 3, and they may have quelled that by being here in big numbers. Look at the video I shot when I got here. I was running around trying to catch up to them. I was doing a 4-block radius, and they were on bikes. We saw sheriff's deputies in big numbers, big groups, patrolling and showing a good deterrence kind of presence all around Center City, but circling this large mall. This is where the Sixers want to build their arena, so it's been in the news lately. They had trouble earlier this year. You remember they instituted a curfew and an ID situation for young people. And then we saw Philadelphia police on their bikes out on the front side on Market Street, just waiting at the front door, trying to stay out of the way, not trying to intimidate anybody, but just being here just in case. And as we saw with all those arrests last night, it's usually youth causing the trouble here. And as everybody thought it was all juveniles that were being arrested, surprisingly, of the 52 arrests that Philadelphia police have confirmed, 49 are adults. Now, that could be you're just 18 and you're still kind of a young person in a lot of people's mind, but only 3 juveniles arrested of the 52. That is a very low percentage, and that shows you it's not kids causing the trouble, but people should know better. And so that is the situation. So let's come back here live and show you. It is business as usual for the Fashion District. They are not closing early. One of the popular sneaker stores here, Showtime, still open. We're seeing the people shopping in there, waving to us as well, and they know how to do business. And all their sneakers are wrapped in plastic so you can pick them up and look at them, but you'll notice when you go in the store, there's only 1 sneaker on display, so nobody can grab a pair and run out like we saw last night. Jason Sheba, the most interesting thing I saw last night on the streets of Center City was discarded shoes. And why did they discard their shoes? Because they had stolen new pairs of Jordans and everything else.
Christ. This can't be real life.
From Foot Locker and all the sneaker stores all around town. So you saw a lot of shoes just thrown around. And my partner last night, Greg Helms, was like, what's with all the shoes? And then suddenly we put 2 and 2 together and people were just kicking off their old shoes and walking around with new shiny shoes. And guess what? They got a sale price on them. Free.
Jesus Christ. Let me read these super chats. Really quickly. It's disheartening sometimes. A dude from Fairfax says, having Princella on this show would be anti-moving backwards. No sense in doing that. Spend enough time with fools and you ended up sound like them. Listen, God bless her. She had an opportunity to kick it with me in person. She decided not to, and so we're moving on. We're not even going to entertain that nonsense. T. Bracey says, the liberals are allowing the migrants in so they can cheat on mail-in ballots for the next election. A blind man can see what's going on. Shout out to T. Bracey. I appreciate you. Blue, the Boston Terrier, is in the building, says, there's no black business because blacks don't respect the hustle and never will. I appreciate you, Blue, the black business. I appreciate you for sending that super chat. 704 Chino says, keep preaching, brother. Our people need to hear it. You made my day. Thank you, 704 Chino, and I'm glad that I made your day as a result of it. And then last but not least, Devastator says, rob the liquor and pharmacy stores, but won't steal a book about how to be a part of the 1%. It's amazing. It's amazing. Shout out to my dog, Ami. Some people don't have feet and you discard shoes. Shout out to Omni. I appreciate you for holding me down. Listen, y'all, listen. Let me give you my final thoughts really quickly. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I'm going to be reading the super chat shortly. I think that we're reaching a tipping point, honestly. I think that we're reaching a point in society, in our relationships, in our cities, to where you're going to have to make a decision on what side of the fence that you want to stand on. Honestly, you're going to have to make a decision. Do you want to be on the right side of things or you want to be on the wrong side of things? Morally, ethically, spiritually, you're going to have to make a decision. I think that we're reaching a tipping point. People are no longer going to go by what you tell them. They only going to do business with you based off of what you say. The men are getting to the point to where they're becoming so educated that the majority of us are no longer going to believe you just because you're a woman. You're going to have to substantiate what it is that you deserve. Options are thinning. For people in relationships, and when it comes to what it is that you can even seek to do as far as to earn money. Participation in waking up is not enough. People are losing their homes. They're getting evicted. They're getting foreclosed on. Relationships are dissolving. I'm seeing more divorces publicly than ever before, both privately and when it comes to these public divorces. People are looting and killing and stealing for no reason. Ain't even no point in protesting no more. Crime is out of control. Kids have no supervision. Teachers are overglorified babysitters. When you see content, right, that comes across YouTube for us content creators, I see people getting kicked off, demonetized, censorship, platforms being removed. When it comes to the gender war, right? The reason that there's a war is because there's one side that feels as though they're being taken advantage of and used up and then discarded as a result of aligning themselves with the person that they thought was their friend. How is it any different than the colonization of what happened over here in America? You welcomed them with open arms. You taught them how to farm. You built the infrastructure by which they can come over here and thrive. And then they gave you blankets filled with diseases in order to kill you off. They didn't know that they was doing it to their own demise, but they did it. They leveraged the court system. They leveraged their femininity. Men are running around in Atlanta and they giving women diseases. I did a story yesterday on my other channel about a man with HIV, brought back HIV to his wife, and she didn't even know that she had HIV for the last 7 years, and she wound up just dying suddenly, and now he's facing charges because there's multiple different women that's coming forward and saying, I had unprotected sex with this man also. 40, 50-year-old men are running around giving y'all diseases. You go down to Houston. You go down to Atlanta. You go into any of these major cities. It's an epidemic. Literally. Women are filling up the clinics. They're having children out of wedlock. And these children often at times are born with venereal diseases. And they can't see. And they got syphilis when they come out of the womb. And it's worse than when we were born as crack babies. You know why it's so much worse than what it was in the 80s and the 90s? The reason that it's so much worse is because we're more educated than we ever have been. We have more access to information than ever before, but we continue to make the worst decision for ourselves over and over and over again. We don't discipline our children, but we're going to have a whole bunch of them. We don't have enough money to take care of ourselves, but we're going to make sure that we take care of somebody else on top of it. We want to go back and forth with women that don't even have our best interests at heart. Women want to go back and forth with men that they shouldn't even be in the presence of in the first place. I think that we're reaching a tipping point. We're reaching a tipping point because the good people are getting tired. and they're tired of propping up and doing the thing that's in your best interest, and they're feeling used up. I talk to community leaders and they tired of patrolling. I talk to neighborhood watch people and they tired of looking out the window. I had a detective, actually I had two detectives that contacted me yesterday via email. I talked to one of them on the phone and they said that they tired of trying to solve for a problem and the people won't even participate in solving for the problem in their own community. They said that everybody in the community already know who the criminals are, but nobody is actually going to step up and point them out. We're reaching a tipping point because now you actually can't run from the problems anymore. Instead of it being a crime of passion or a crime of proximity, it's now being a crime of opportunity because they're not just staying in their neighborhoods and then implementing these crimes against the people that they lay next to or the people that they live next to or the people that they see driving down the street every day. They're going out to your neighborhoods over in Oakland, over in LA, over in San Francisco. They're watching people shop in luxury stores and then they're following all the way home. Don't matter if you're black, don't matter if you're white. Don't matter if you're Asian or if you're Latino, Mexican or Arabic, Chaldean, no matter what you are, you're going to have to come to the front of the congregation because you're not going to be absolved from it. And so until we get the people, until we solve for the core root issue of these problems, until we get to a space to where we're actually going to do the thing in our own best interest, meaning that you can't just go and chase the bag. You also have to chase character because character is the thing that's going to keep you as you become more successful. And it's going to take you in places and keep you in those places that bad character can't. As you get more money, if you a scumbag, you become more of a scumbag. You just get more access to be more of a scumbag. But y'all keep thinking that it's just money. It's not just money. We've gotten so far away from the things that we actually supposed to do that we don't even know our right from our left. We don't know right from wrong anymore. We got chameleons running the streets giving y'all dating advice. People that ain't never been married trying to help you to understand how it is that you're supposed to be successfully married. People that don't know what it's like to be in a negative space trying to help you to understand how it is that you can build a business and ain't never built a business before in their life. People that went to school that got a whole bunch of student loan debt trying to tell you what it is in order to be able to be successful in life and they ain't never did it themselves. Everybody got something to say and ain't nobody really got no solutions because don't nobody know. Don't nobody know. So what's the answer? That's really the question that you want to ask me. It's the thing that you don't want to have a conversation about, but it's the question that you want to ask me. What's the answer? Anton, since you know so much, let me tell you what they say to me. You better, huh? You think you better than everybody. You think you got all of the solutions. Oh, perfect Anton. Know how to be successfully married. Know how to get to the bag. Got this tribe of people and this Patreon member. Shout out to the Bag Chasers. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Live a perfect life. Never moved out of your city. I do have the answers, Sway. I do have the answers, Sway. The first thing you have to do is you got to humble yourself to understand that you don't know nothing. There's people in this world that actually do have the answers. The second thing that you have to do is you got to stop running in the victim Olympics and thinking that somebody owe you something. The third thing that you have to do is you got to hold yourself accountable, not the person that's outside of the window, the person in the mirror. And then the fourth thing that you got to do is you got to humble yourself and come before the person or whoever it is. And it ain't got to be me, but it's got to be something. You got to get back to that core person that you're supposed to be. Before you got turned out, before you got smoked out, before you got drugged out, before you got finessed out. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Some of y'all are too far gone. The reason that you hit the dislike when you came in here is because you a demon. Some of y'all are straight up demons. You don't watch this for insight. You don't watch this for wisdom. You don't watch this in order to be able to level up and get the bag. You watch this so you can figure out where the holes are and you can try to figure out how it is that you can finesse this or for all of the negative reasons because you're looking for a reason to be mad. You woke up. Some of y'all is just straight up demons. Your purpose on this earth is to kill, steal, and destroy. can't fix you. We need to get rid of you. Some of you women are so turned out that you're not even in a position. You don't even feel nothing when you lay down and open up your legs no more. You don't even need to be emotionally connected. Some of y'all are so drugged out that you become interdependent on it that you get sick when you don't get drugs. Some of y'all are so burnt out because you don't even know where you going or where you coming to or what your goal is in life, and you don't even have no purpose no more. Some of y'all are so far away from what you were supposed to be, and you don't even recognize your kingship no more, and it passed you by. Or maybe not. For those of us that want to do the right thing, gird up. Get ready. Be prepared. Tap into the Patreon. Rock out with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in. And then more importantly, get ready to get this work. Because I declared last night that my purpose going forward is going to be adding value and then building y'all up one person at a time. Every single day I'm expecting. We got over 2,000 people in here and we've been streaming for over 2 hours. Every single day I'm expecting for there to be another person that evolves, that grows, that comes to the conclusion that they no longer want to live the life that they in anymore, and then I can help you. I can't help you until God has humbled you, until you come to the conclusion that you're not what you're supposed to be. As long as you have any ounce of pride in you, I'm not willing to deal with you because I'm not about to break you. I want to build you. You already broken. When you're ready to work, come holler at me. When you're ready to grow, come holler at me. When you're ready to get this work, when you're ready to be uncomfortable, when you're ready to be held accountable, when you're ready to be pushed, come holler at me. I got you. But I'm definitely going to be doing the work with the people that want to grind. I'm not wasting one piece of my energy on people that think that they know everything already. You already got it then, fam. What the fuck you doing here talking to me? If you already got it, what you sitting here having a conversation with me for? Don't waste my time. This is for the people that's willing to get it. This is for the people that's willing to grow. This is the people that know that they separate from whatever it is that's going on in the world and they don't belong in that shithole that you see them in every day. When you're ready to work, you come holler at me. Until then, sit back, enjoy the show, and watch the world burn. Because that's exactly what's going to happen. Listen, I love you. I appreciate you. Let me read some more of these super chats, and then I'm going to get y'all up out of here because we got work to do. You see me streaming right now? You see me cooking right now? You see me with this stopped up nose right now? I don't miss. I don't stop. I don't keep pushing. I know that it's somebody that need to get this inspiration every single day, and I am not going to ever let you down. I'm never going to let you down. Kung Guru is in the building, says the DNA in those shoes may lead to some arrests. C19 tests that you took has your DNA archive. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, King Guru. Brock says, Pass the love offering. Thank you for today's show. Thank you, my friend Block. I appreciate you, big dog. Oh, snaps. Hold on. I got my guy in here. Let me make sure I get the drum roll popping. Shout out to Ash in the building. Ash says, I feel you, brother. This is why I agree with you on black culture is trash. I knew this over 30 years ago. Prior to leaving Chicago, my life, where I live, how I vote, and who I decided to share my heart with was intentional. It's a disease. Ash, we love you. I appreciate you. Thank you, my friend, for contributing into the platform. You've been rolling with me for an extended period of time. I rock with you, my friend. Thank you to everybody that contributed to the platform. Magnum Group is in the building, says, the only way to fix the hood is to separate the children from the parents and from that environment. It sounds extreme, but I see these young men. I don't. I think you need to do away with the whole thing. Aaron Woe, 218 in the building, says, seen a meme this morning that say watching America fall is fun, like watching the fall of Rome, but in HD and Wi-Fi. We in the end of times. Get ready, y'all. It's going to be survivalists. It's going to be some people that survive this. I promise you. I'm going to be one of them. DJ Kane in the building says, gird up. and get the likes up. Shout out to DJ Kane. I appreciate you, big dog. Sigma the Prince is in the building, says, for keeping it filthy truthful. Shout out to Sigma the Prince. I appreciate you. The Magnum group is in the building. Magnum says, smart people have stupid weakness. Smart people assume the stupid people know how stupid they actually are. That's pretty deep, actually, when you think about it. That's pretty deep, actually, when you think about it. Listen. I love you guys. I appreciate you. We definitely going to be doing it tomorrow. Today, I'm going to give me some rest. Tomorrow, we back at it. And what I like to do on Friday shows is I like to drop the link in the chat for y'all to be able to come up here and give me any kind of thoughts that you have, whether you agree with me, whether you disagree with me. I prefer the people that disagree with me. If you have a disagreement with me or you think differently about what it is that I'm saying on this show, then feel free to come on the platform. You do not have to cam up, but we definitely have that show tomorrow. And we're going to be doing it at the same time. Let me get some fluids in me. Let me get some rest so I can prepare to make sure that I run it up tomorrow. Ray Sean is in the building, came through with the Super Bowl. I appreciate you, Ray Sean. Ray Sean says, Anton with the flu game show. Not yet. Maybe tomorrow, though. We're going to see. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Some of y'all got paid today. No fumbling on a Thursday. No fumbling on a Friday Eve. We love you. We appreciate you. And I definitely need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up. You know what I'm going to say. I need you to share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be rich and successful by ourselves. My dog, Mark Meck, is in the building. Mark Meck said, I pray for strength, not only for me, but for everyone that your sacrifices pay out tenfold. Look at that love. Look at that love that they got for y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for continuing to rock with me. I'm looking forward to live streaming with y'all in the morning. We're going to end this week off with a bang. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.